inclusive environment, Dr. Raj Nehru, Vice Chancellor, Shri Vishwakarma Skill University, Haryana, Dr. Santosh Dhar, Rector and Dean FDSR, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalay, Dr. Dinesh Nagar, Conference Convener and Director, Swisha, Dr. Shubhi Vyas, Coordinator, MANOPRABHA 2023, Dr. Sandeep Pandey, Coordinator, MANOPRABHA 2023, all the HOIs, HODs, faculty members, delegates, and dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the valedictory session of a two-day virtual conference in psychology, MANOPRABHA 2023, organized on the theme on mental health and well-being, opportunities and challenges. I now invite Dr. Shubhi Vyas, Coordinator MANOPRABHA, to present the report. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Anurag sir. Is my slideshow visible to all?
Visible.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to have been given the opportunity to present the report of MANOPRABHA 2023 International Virtual Conference on Mental Health and Wellbeing Opportunities and Challenges, which was held on 1st and 2nd December 2023. The inaugural session of the conference commenced with Dr. Amit Joshi, the Master of Ceremony, extending a warm welcome to all dignitaries and attendees. The session commenced with the dignitaries lighting a virtual lamp, followed by Saraswati Vandana. The Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Upinder Dhar, virtually welcomed the chief guest, Dr. Paul B. Paulus and Dr. Gerald Kupchik. Dr. Nagar, the convener of the conference, provided an insightful overview to the participants, announcing an overwhelming response with over 230 registered participants and 204 abstracts accepted for presentation. The conference themes centered around mental health and well-being were discussed with emphasis on initiatives undertaken by the Government of India to address mental health issues. Dr. Nagar underscored the conference's importance by highlighting prevailing mental health issues and the urgent need for a comprehensive approach. He stressed that the conference aimed not only to identify challenges, but also to explore solutions and innovations, paving the way for new paradigms in mental health and well-being. As the patron of the conference, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Shri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalay, Dr. Upinder Dhar, delivered a comprehensive welcome address. He explored the interplay between technology, mental health, and well-being, cautioning against the excessive use of technology. Dr. Dhar provided strategies to maintain mental health, including literature, a sense of belonging, and the importance of personal interactions over virtual connections. He advocated for physical exercise, learning new skills, and the practice of mindfulness for a balanced life. The conference souvenir Mano Darpan, containing 204 accepted abstracts, was released by the dignitaries. Dr. Gerald Kupchik, Professor, Department of Psychology at University of Toronto, Canada, delivered a profound keynote address focusing on life in the post-pandemic era and its impact on mental health. He discussed the dual aspects of personality, emphasizing the need for balance. He also shared insights from his research on resilience during the COVID era, emphasizing the role of teachers, neighbors, and friends in supporting individuals facing mental health challenges. He called for a holistic view of self and community and advocated for collaboration over grades in education. Chief guest Dr. Paul B. Paulus, Distinguished Professor, Department of Psychology, University of Texas at Arlington, USA, presented a multifaceted keynote address discussing post-COVID life and the role of creativity in mental health. He explored his research on collaborative creativity, challenging the notion of individual genius. Dr. Paulus highlighted the potential applications of collaborative creativity in group therapy sessions, emphasizing the positive effect on well-being. He closed his talk by stressing the importance of collaborative innovation in solving global problems and welcomed audience questions and ideas. The inaugural session provided a comprehensive exploration of mental health, well-being, and the role of technology and creativity in today's world. The insights shared by the distinguished speakers set the stage for a conference that promises to delve deep into the challenges and opportunities in the field. Dr. Shubhi Vyas, the conference coordinator and assistant professor psychology, expressed gratitude, and the session concluded with the national anthem. The first plenary session started with the introduction of panelists, Dr. Prabhat Chand, Professor, Department of Psychiatry, National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, Bengaluru. And the second speaker, Dr. Ashok Kumar Saha, Professor of Psychology at Jagannath University, Dhaka, Bangladesh. The session chair was Dr. K.N. Guruprasad, Dean, Faculty of Science, Sri Vaishnava Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya. Dr. Prabhat Chand delivered his address on transforming mental health care through digital ecosystem, in which he discussed about the NIMHANS ECHO model, consisting of amplification, use of technology to leverage scarce resources, sharing best practices to reduce disparity, following case-based learning to master complexity, and then lastly, web-based database to monitor outcomes. He emphasized on how digital technology leads to democratization by providing the users with accessibility and personalization, data-driven decisions, engagement and support, innovation and adaptability, and collaboration and integration. Dr. Prabhat's address was followed by the second speaker's address, Dr. Ashok Kumar Saha, who discussed about how the COVID-19 lockdown impacted our mental health, leading to a range of psychological challenges like isolation and loneliness, anxiety and fear, depression, cabin fear, domestic violence and abuse, disruption of routine, and technology overload. He also enlightened us about how people found ways to cope and adapt during these challenging times. The addressees were then followed by question and answer session, which also was followed by great insightful answers given by the speakers. The session's concluding remarks were given by the session chair, Dr. K.N. Guruprasad, Dean, Faculty of Studies, Sri Vaishnava Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, who admired the guests for their gracious presence to enlighten everyone present about their perspectives on challenges and opportunities on mental health and well-being. The plenary session 1 was concluded with words of thanks proposed by Dr. Norbert Solomon. The online session was managed by Dr. Norbert Solomon, and Ms. Aparna Singh was the rapporteur for the session. Technical session 1 was chaired by Dr. Nutan Jain, Professor S.D. Gupta, School of Public Health, IIHMR, University, Jaipur. And the co-chair for the session was Dr. Pragya Javodia. The online session was managed by Dr. Bharti Geete, and for the first time, we involved all students from the Department of Psychology for the reporting of all technical sessions. So the rapporteur for the session was Garima Pathak, a master student from the Department of Psychology. The total number of papers presented were 9. Concurrent session 1 was chaired by Dr. Rakesh Jain. He is the professor and head at Department of Psychology, Gurukul Kangri University. It was co-chaired by Dr. Anand Rajawat. The session was managed by Dr. Varsha Upadhyay, and rapporteur again was Priyanshi Virak, the student. Total papers presented were 12. Concurrent session 2 was chaired by Dr. Arun Kumar, Professor, Department of Psychology, Gurukul Kangri University. It was co-chaired by Dr. Anurag Joshi, while the session was managed by Ms. Seema Uike, and the rapporteur was Radhima Talwar. The total number of papers presented were 12. Concurrent session 3 was chaired by Dr. Radhesham, Professor, Department of Psychology, Maharshi Dayanand University, Rohtak. It was co-chaired by Dr. Uttam Sharma. The session was managed by Dr. Vasanta Gauri, and rapporteur was Misbah Sheikh. The total number of papers presented were 11. The concurrent session 4 was chaired by Dr. Kalpana Jain, Professor, Department of Psychology, Mohanlal Sukhadia University. It was co-chaired by Dr. T.K. Mandal. The online session was managed by Dr. Pamela Nima, and the rapporteur was Sanjana Chauhan. The total number of papers presented were 5. The technical session 2 was chaired by Dr. Krishnan Soni, Head Department of Clinical Psychology at PGMI, Chandigarh. It was co-chaired by Dr. Shilpa Fadnis. The session was managed by Dr. Shrilidhi Sarkar, and rapporteur was Nikita Chauhan. The total number of papers presented were 12. Concurrent session 1, the session chair was Deepthi Huda, Professor, Department of Psychology at Maharshi Dayanand University, Rohtak. The co-chair was Dr. V. Sampath. The session was managed by Dr. Anand Soni, and rapporteur was Geetanshi Sharma. The total number of papers presented were 10. Concurrent session 2 was chaired by Dr. Rajendra Mahaske, Professor, Department of Clinical Psychology at University of Pune. And the co-chair for the session was Dr. Rupa Shinde. The session was managed by Dr. Shweta Keshwani. and the rapporteur was Sanskriti Verma. The total number of papers presented were 10. Concurrent session 3 was chaired by Dr. Aparna Vajpayee, Professor and Associate Dean, P.P. Savani University, Surat. The co-chair for the session was Dr. Namit Gupta. The online session was managed by Ms. Saloni Atlasia and rapporteur was Hiral Paliwal. The total number of papers presented were 9. The concurrent session 4 was chaired by Dr. Anupam Shukla, Professor, Institute for Excellence in Higher Education, Bhopal. The co-chair for the session was Dr. Ashutosh Shukla, Director, SVIFS. Online session was managed by Ms. Akansha Vaishnav and rapporteur was Shankari. The total number of papers presented were 6. We now come to day 2. It began with plenary session 2, which commenced with the welcoming of speakers Dr. Narendra Thagna, Faculty of Psychology at Tribhuvan University, Nepal. Dr. Bhaswati Patnaik, Professor and Head, Department of Psychology at Utkal University, Odisha. And Dr. K. Jayasankara Reddy, Professor at Christ Dream to be University, Bangalore. Dr. Dinesh Nagar, Director, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Social Sciences, Humanities and Arts, was the session chair. Dr. Bhaswati Patnaik threw light on positive psychology and discussed the link between positive emotions and human functioning. She further talked about how frustration leads to aggression, but doesn't always end negatively. Growth theory contrasts challenges for personal development, how optimism emerges post-trauma. She showed how profiting from trauma aligns with a humanistic perspective on adversity growth. Stress, growth, Ubuntu philosophy, society, culture, body and mind influence, collective and individual growth were the topics of her presentation. Further, she discussed the infant's positive responses study at Yale Cognitive Center's Cognitive Center. Dr. Narendra Singh highlighted the alarming global suicide statistics, emphasizing the urgency of dispelling myths surrounding suicide. Presenting the GRACE model, gratitude, respect, accountability, courage, and encouragement, he proposed a proactive approach to suicide prevention. With a global suicide rate of 11.4 per 100,000 and India ranking third at 16.5 per lakh, Dr. Singh underscored the significance of a culture of action. The SAFE program aligned with these principles, contributing to a comprehensive strategy for suicide prevention, addressing the critical need for gratitude, respect, accountability, courage, and encouragement in saving lives. Dr. K. Jayasankara Reddy delivered an insightful presentation on neurocognitive mental health. He highlighted the intricate relationship between cognitive and neurological processes influencing perception, thought, and response. Challenges in the field arise from neurological disorders, stigma, and limited treatment options. Despite these challenges, he pointed out promising opportunities such as embracing neuroplasticity and resilience, harnessing technological advances, and adopting holistic approaches, which provide potential pathways to enhance overall well-being. Dr. Reddy further emphasized the importance of bridging the gap between research and practice, stating that interdisciplinary collaboration across neuroscience, psychology, medicine, education, and awareness campaigns to fostering a comprehensive understanding of neurocognitive mental health. The technical session 3 was chaired by Dr. Alpana Agrawal, Professor of Psychology at CCSU, Meerut. It was co-chaired by Dr. Kavita Sharma. The Master of Ceremony was Dr. Shilpa Fatnis and rapporteur was Riya Nimawat. A total number of 8 papers were presented in the session. Concurrent session 1 was chaired by Dr. Zaidi, Director at Amity University, Lucknow. The co-chair for the session was Dr. Neeraj Sahu. The Master of Ceremony, Mr. Satish Patel and rapporteur Priyanshi Nima. In the session, total number of 11 papers were presented. Concurrent session 2 was chaired by Dr. Amrish Srivastava, psychiatrist and professor emeritus at Western University in London, Canada. The co-chair for the session was Dr. Saurabh Jain. The online session was managed by Dr. Amit Joshi and the rapporteur for the session was Shuchi Vyas. A total number of 9 papers were presented. Concurrent session 3 was chaired by Dr. Hardeep Lal Joshi, professor of psychology at Kurukshetra University, Haryana. It was co-chaired by Dr. Mala Srivastava, The session was managed by Mr. Sujay Patak and the rapporteur was Parinika Sharma. A total number of 10 papers were presented. The concurrent session 4 was chaired by Dr. Nutan Kumar S. Thinbunjam, Professor and Head of Psychology at Tripura University. The co-chair for the session was Dr. Rupa Shinde. The session was managed by Dr. Shweta Keshwani and the rapporteur was Kushi Dixit. A total number of 10 papers were presented. The plenary session 3 was chaired by Dr. Jamal Akhtar, Professor of Psychology at Government MLV Girls PG College, Bhopal. Speakers for the session were Dr. Damanjeet Sandhu, Professor of Psychology at Punjabi University, Patiala, and Dr. Prerna Puri, Professor of Psychology at University of Rajasthan, Jaipur. Dr. Sandhu addressed the session and congratulated Team MANOPRABHA for such a successful conference. She presented her topic of research, namely application of cyber psychology in addressing mental health programs. She highlighted the importance of cyber psychology for promotion of well-being and development of children. She focused on the digital divide of the technological haves and have-nots, which leads to social inequalities in the society. While we are engaging in the cyber world, we should be aware of the challenges coming out of this hyper-connected world. The next speaker, Dr. Prerna Puri, presented her presentation on the topic spirituality and mental health. She pronounced modern age as the age of scientific achievement and artificial intelligence. In course of this, and especially after COVID-19, people are facing unbearable stress and worries, searching for mental peace. Here comes the importance of spirituality, which means connection with nature and a sense of purpose and meaning in life. She mentioned that spiritual people have higher degree of self-awareness, capacity to face problems, and ability to take responsibility of their own actions. She concluded with the importance of psychotropic meditation. Plenary session 3 had a very nice question-answer session, which was held after both the presentations. And the session chair gave congratulatory remarks to both the participants, organizers, and the conference convener. The master of ceremony for the session was Dr. Anu Kande, and the rapporteur for the session was Ms. Akansha Vaishnav. Technical session 4 was chaired by Dr. Manoj K. Pandey, Head Department of Clinical Psychology at JSS Medical College and Hospital, Mysuru. The co-chair for the session was Dr. Varsha Upadhyay. The master of ceremony was Dr. Dipali Saxena and the rapporteur was Neha Setia. A total number of 8 papers were presented in the session. Concurrent session 1 was chaired by Dr. Shaha Alam, Professor of Psychology at AMU Aligarh. The session was co-chaired by architect Vishal Yadi. The online session was managed by Ms. Aparna Singh and the rapporteur was Devyani Pabra, and the total number of 8 papers were presented in the session. Concurrent session 2 was chaired by Dr. Seema Vinayak, Professor of Psychology at Punjab University, and the session was co-chaired by Dr. Pamela Nima. The master of ceremony was Dr. K. Subramanian and the rapporteur was Mahek Ingrani. A total number of 9 papers were presented for the conference. And this, we are here finally towards the valedictory ceremony. Concluding remarks would be given by Dr. Santosh Dhar. Something very beautiful that I would like to share with the audience that came out of this entire conference. So we had about 9 to 10 registrations from JSS Mysuru, and these are all participants for the conference who had set up a big screen in a room, and they were all listening to all sessions and participating together and presenting together. So that is all for the conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shubhi. Organizing this event has given us the opportunity to nourish our minds and fill ourselves with more and more knowledge and wisdom. For sharing some such experiences, we'll have some of the delegates to give their feedback. For this, I would like to invite Subedar F. Anthony Fernandez, PhD research scholar from Pondicherry University and presently posted in Ladakh for research work, to share his experience. Over to you, sir. Fernandez, sir.
Good evening. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to share my insight about the conference that you people have organized. Really,
So we can't hear you.
Enriching online come to know this organizing sector. Can you hear me, sir, now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So personally, I have learned being in a service for 25 years and a research scholar and a research experience for more than 5 years. Mental health, it is a important topic. And the organizing committee and the organizing secretaries, they have did well, and it has came very nicely. Detailing the chairperson and the co-chairperson, they have evaluated very skillfully that as a research scholar we come to know that how the things can be improved, like what are the variables that we could do, and even they have given a constructive feedback that we could do. And the technology aspect, this both Dr. Sandeep and Dr. Subi, they have organized it very well, that we found it there was no disturbances throughout the entire section. So heartfully, it is very skillfully managed. And on behalf of my unit and this Indian Army, we congratulate you that taken a step in conducting online conferences. That soldier from 1,800 feet minus 23 degree, that we are able to participate on this online conference. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot. Now, I would like to invite Vibha Madan, Assistant Professor in Psychology, Government PG College for Women, Panchkula, to share her experiences. Over to you, ma'am.
Myself, Vibha Madan from Government Postgraduate College for Women, Panchkula. Once again, I am grateful for the chance to attend the online virtual conference. I had amazing and fantastic experience at the conference. I appreciate the chance to speak as well. All the plenary and technical sessions were well managed and well planned. All the presentations were interesting, relevant, and need of the hour. All the rapporteurs, chairpersons, master of ceremony, co-chairpersons were knowledgeable resource persons and speakers. I appreciate all of your efforts in putting together such a seamless and educational conference. Indeed, MANOPRABHA, second international conference organized by Sri Vaishnav Institute of Social Sciences, Humanities and Arts Psychology, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, Madhya Pradesh, is a great and grand success. Kudos to all the members and the faculty. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now we have with us Dr. Manoj Kumar Pandey, Head of the Department of Psychology, JSS Mysuru, to share his experience. Over to you, sir, please. Pandey, sir? Okay. Now, I would like to invite Aradhana Kaul Kathuja, Consultant Psychologist, Vasundhara Hospital Limited, Jodhpur, Rajasthan, to share her experiences. Aradhana, ma'am?
Anurag, you can pronounce it as Kathju.
Kathju. Okay, ma'am.
Am I all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much. And thank you, sir, for that introduction. Good evening, everyone. I am Aradhana Kaul Kathuja from Jodhpur, Rajasthan. This is the second year that I have joined the MANOPRABHA conference. And as before, it has been a pleasure being a part of such a meticulously organized event. The dignitaries, the presenters, coordinators, conveners, and everyone at the MANOPRABHA 2023 have been absolutely delightful. The complexities of the topics discussed, their relevance, and the technical expertise exhibited the embodiment of flair and professionalism. As a co-presenter and in some capacity a colleague, it has been reassuring to participate in this enchanting interaction over the last 2 days. I have to specially thank Dr. Shubhi Vyas and Dr. Sandeep Pandey for their exemplary support. We all know that change is the only constant. Well, to add to that, as Winston Churchill said, to improve is to change, but to be perfect is to change well. I would like to thank everybody in this conference to have joined hands in being the harbingers of change. Thank you so much and a very good evening to all of you.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Now I invite Dr. Santosh Dhar, Rector and Dean, FDSR, to give concluding and inspirational remarks. Over to you, ma'am, please.
Chief guest on the occasion, Dr. Raj Nehru, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Shri Vishwakarma Skill University, Haryana, Dr. Dinesh Nagar, Director, Shri Vaishnav Institute of Social Sciences, Humanities and Arts, Coordinators, MANOPRABHA 2023, Dr. Shubhi Vyas, Dr. Sandeep Pandey, faculty colleagues from Swisha, HOIs, HODs of the Constant Institutes of the University, paper presenters and other participants, a warm welcome to the valedictory session of MANOPRABHA 2023. The report of 2 days conference presented shows that the researchers have covered varied aspects of mental health from different perspectives. Exposure to unfavorable social, economic, geopolitical, and environmental circumstances, including poverty, violence, inequality, and environmental deprivation, increases people's risk of experiencing mental health conditions. Risks can manifest themselves at all stages of life, but those that occur during developmental sensitive periods, especially early childhood, are particularly detrimental. Harsh parenting, physical punishment is known to undermine child health, and bullying is leading risk factor for the mental health conditions. Protective factors similarly occur throughout our lives and serve to strengthen resilience. They include our individual, social, and economical skills and attributes, as well as positive social interactions, quality education, decent work, safe neighborhoods, and community cohesion, among others. Mental health risks and protective factors can be found in society at different scales. Local threats heighten risk for individuals, families, and communities. Global threats heighten risk for whole populations and include economic downturns, disease outbreak, humanitarian emergencies, and forced displacement, and the growing climate crisis. Each single risk and protective factor has only limited predictive strength. Most people do not develop a mental health condition despite exposure to a risk factor, and many people with no known risk factor still develop a mental health condition. Nonetheless, the interacting determinants of mental health serve to enhance or undermine mental health. It's crucial for caregivers, employers, parents, family members, and loved ones to understand the impact that mental health has on daily life. However, while mental health conditions can make daily life more difficult, they also don't have to prevent one from having a fulfilling and engaging life. When people prioritize mental health care, it makes it easier to take the action that are needed to take care and thrive. So from this conference, what are the key facts that can be drawn? What we have learned these 2 days, mental health is determined by complex interplay of individual, social, and structural stresses and vulnerabilities. Mental health has intrinsic and instrumental value and is integral to our well-being. Depression, anxiety, and behavioral disorders are among the leading causes of illness and disability. Suicide is one of the 4th leading causes of death. The consequences of failing to address adolescent mental health conditions extend to adulthood, impairing both physical and mental health and limiting opportunities to lead fulfilling lives as adults. The need for action on mental health is indisputable and urgent. Affordable, effective, and feasible strategies exist to promote, protect, and restore mental health. With these words, I once again extend warm welcome to our chief guest, Dr. Raj Nehru, and thank him for being with us on this occasion. We hope that every participant who has joined us in this event had fruitful learnings and lot of novel insights which can provide them enough food for thought and a way forward for their research. We hope to see you all in MANOPRABHA 2024 with new research findings. Thank you all. Over to Anurag.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Due to some other assignment, Dr. Raj Nehru had to leave the meeting. So moving further, now I invite Honorable Dr. Santosh Dhar and Dr. Dinesh Nagar, conference convener and Director Swisha, to release the brochure of MANOPRABHA 2024. I request technical team to do the needful. Thank you, sir. Moving further, now I invite Coordinator MANOPRABHA, Dr. Sandeep Pandey, to propose words of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to all. I feel privileged for hearing given me these opportunities to extend words of thanks on this occasion. I extend my warm regard and gratitude to our chief guest of valedictory ceremony, Dr. Raj Nehru, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Vishwakarma Skill University, Haryana, for his kind presence. I would like also to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Paul B. Paulus and Dr. Gerald Kupchik for sparing his time and giving a wonderful inaugural speech. I express my gratitude to conference patron and Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Rupinder Dhar for all the possible support and encouragement throughout the conference. I would also like to extend my gratitude towards Dr. Santosh Dhar, Professor and Dean FDSR, for her support and proper guidance of the whole conference. I would like to thank all the plenary speakers, Dr. Prabhat Chand, Dr. Ashok Kumar Saha, Dr. Narendra Thaguna, Dr. Bhaswati Patnaik, K. Jayasankara Reddy, Dr. Jamal Akhtar, Dr. Prerna Puri, Dr. Jamanjali Sandhu, with all the session chairs and co-chair of the sessions, for sparing their precious time and giving their valuable feedback to the participants. I extend my gratitude towards conference convener and director Swisha, Dr. Dinesh Nagar, for supporting us at every moment throughout the conference deliberation. I would like to thank all the session moderator and reporter for excellent conduction of the technical session. Also, I would like to thank all the participants for their wonderful presentations. Further, I would like to convey my special thanks to my colleague, Dr. Subhi Vyas, for her support and cooperation in the entire journey, right from the preparation of the conference until this moment, making this conference grand success. Finally, I wish to thank all the people who have been associated with us directly and indirectly in organizing the conference. Thank you to all for being present. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pandey sir. Now I request everyone to please switch on the camera for a group photograph. Thank you. Now request everyone to please rise for the national anthem.
जनगणमन
अधिनायक जय भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल
गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
भारत माता की जय. Thank you everyone for the joining valedictory session. Thank you.
Thank you to all
Thank
for
you,
being
everyone.
present
Thank
with
you,
us.
ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.